of the economy improving. Let me get on to the specifics. In the area of health, and Mr. Speaker, if you permit, I would like to refer us to page 183 statement, page 183. And I want to lay emphasis on health. Mr. Speaker, under health alone, allocations made for 2026 is 22 billion, over 22 billion Ghana cedis, almost 23 billion. These monies hitherto would not have been gotten because under the NPP, they capped all those sectors and create inconveniences for NHIS and what have you. Today, we have uncapped it. And I don't want to go into the details because one of my colleagues have done that already. But Mr. Speaker, these monies will be channeled into the NHIS fund so that we'll have monies to pay claims, unlike what they faced that they couldn't pay. So there will be confidence in the Ghanaian when they take their health insurance card and say they are going to the hospital. Under the NPP, healthcare was so bad that even vaccines for children, what we used to call 6 killer diseases, now more than that. We couldn't even get vaccines to save our children. Today, Mr. Speaker, today, infection and control has been elevated nationally. Infection prevention and control has been elevated, such that all over the country, you see nurses going from one house to the other, vaccinating children. We couldn't see that under NPP. Mr. Speaker, under this government, we have been able to commence the development of the National Cleft Center in Konfanochi to save those who are suffering from that. They were in power for 8 years. They didn't see the need to do that. We have partnered organizations and we are developing that for Ghanaians. Mr. Speaker, under emergency response, the National Ambulance Service in just 1 year has trained 500 emergency medical technicians. Under NPP, they couldn't do. 500 in 1 year. Additionally, we were able to train 6,000 youth as first aid responders under the National Ambulance Service. NPP couldn't achieve that. Mr. Speaker, nursing training support. Mr. Speaker, we have been able to make full payment of the nurses' allowances. Something they made noise over. Mr. Speaker, they made so much noise over it that they couldn't achieve that. They couldn't pay. We have been able to achieve that. Now, as we speak, 13,500 nurses have been placed on payroll. Something they couldn't do as well. Mr. Speaker, we are expanding health training institutes all over the country. Institutions that are being developed all over the country. We have given accreditation to several new teaching centers as well. Under the NPP, they couldn't do. Mr. Speaker, it will amaze you that threatened to go on strike. Today, 230 John Mahama. Attendants have been trained.
Honourable Member, your time is up. I'll proceed to give the floor to Honourable Samuel Abdullahi Jinapor. You have 15 minutes.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker, for the opportunity to contribute to the 2026 budget statement and economic policy debate. Mr. Speaker, let us be clear. This 2026 budget must be evaluated and analyzed in a context, Mr. Speaker. And the context is the basis on which the current National Democratic Congress Mahama administration came to office. Mr. Speaker, they came to office on two fundamental pillars and commitment to the Ghanaian people. Two. Mr. Speaker, the first is to implement policies, programs, and interventions to reduce cost of living and cost of doing business. Mr. Speaker, the second is to create the hundreds and thousands of jobs for the teaming to point in the right direction. But it's also important for me to point out, Mr. Speaker, that this is principally as a result of the post-COVID-19 economic recovery plan by the Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo government. Mr. Speaker, and secondly, also on account of the domestic gold purchase program, which was initiated by the Akufo-Addo administration. Mr. Speaker, indeed, in April 2024, specifically paragraph 232 of the 2024 budget, it was projected that by the end of 2025, inflation will ease to 8%. And inflation has been easing all the way to 8%. Mr. Speaker, this government committed to realizing these two commitments of reducing cost of living, cost of doing business, and ensuring that they reduce unemployment in our country, principally on one major policy commitment they made to the Ghanaian people, particularly the Ghanaian youth, the 24-hour economy. Mr. Speaker, let me refer this House to Chapter 2 of the NDC Manifesto, specifically paragraph 2.1 on page 22, where they said, Mr. Speaker, and I quote, the 24-hour economic policy, same jobs, 3 shifts, 3 people, the 24-hour economy is a deliberate policy intervention by the incoming NDC administration to stimulate economic growth by creating an enabling environment for businesses and public institutions to operate 24/7 in 3 shifts of 8 hours each, end quote. So, Speaker, in August 2024, at the launch of the NDC manifesto for the 2024 election, then candidate John Dramani Mahama, now President Mahama, Mr. Speaker, had this to say, and he said that the 24-hour economy is going to be coined in a slogan called 133 Formula. And the president said, Mr. Speaker, and this is very important, the president said that Ghanaian youth will have this opportunity. One person will start a job, the same job, at 8 a.m. to 4 p.m., 8 hours. And from 4 p.m. to 12 midnight, another 8 hours, a second Ghanaian youth will take over. And that from 12 midnight to 8 a.m., another Ghanaian youth will take over, 8 hours. It means for one job, Mr. Speaker, one person will do 8 hours from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m., another person will take the same job from 4 p.m. to 12 midnight, and the third person will take the job from 12 midnight to 8 a.m. Agenda 133 Formula. Mr. Speaker, I want to contend and submit here. Mr. Speaker, that the Ministry of Finance itself today closes at 5 p.m. The Ministry of Finance is running an 8-hour economy. The Ministry of Finance is not running this 133 shift. Mr. Speaker, the 24-hour economy is not being implemented. Instead of that, Mr. Speaker, when our friends came into government, all they have been doing is sacking Ghanaian youth, is sacking young men who have been employed by the previous administration. Mr. Speaker, this is a reality. You can check it out yourself. Across the length and breadth of our country, in all sectors of our national life, in all sectors of our national economy, thousands of Ghanaian youth, innocent Ghanaian youth, some of them NDC sympathizers, some of them MPP sympathizers, some of them non-aligned, ordinary Ghanaian citizens are being sacked. We are not getting 24-hour economy. We are not getting Agenda 113. We are rather getting, Mr. Speaker, a sacking of Ghanaian youth. That is the lot of our people, our opponents from this side. Mr. Speaker, it's important for us to point out that, as I said, the current state of the Ghanaian economy, Mr. Speaker, the data may look good, the statistics may look good, but the truth is that the Ministry of Finance is not spending. Mr. Speaker, Let's take a look at paragraph 123 of the 2026 budget. The budget itself, Mr. Speaker, indicates that for the first 3 quarters of 2025, the Ministry of Finance had projected to spend the sum of 207 billion Ghana cedis. Mr. Speaker, the Finance Minister himself, in reporting to this House, has indicated that they have spent 175.9 billion Ghana cedis, a shortfall of 15%. Mr. Speaker, government spending, let us be clear, government spending anywhere in the world is a catalyst for growth. And when government spends, what they call the trickle-down economic effect. Mr. Speaker, it trickles down to every Ghanaian. Mr. Speaker, so when you lock the votes, when you lock the treasury, when you lock the exchequer, when you don't spend, it affects everybody. It affects the nurses. It affects contractors. It affects farmers. It affects each and every person. So I think if you want evidence, this is real. I come from a rural constituency of Damango, a farming constituency. Today, Mr. Speaker, on 10th November 2025, Joy News reported, and I quote, "Farmers cry out over unsold rice as 1 million metric tons rot in storage," end quote. Mr. Speaker, we are being told today that 1 million metric tons of rice are packed in warehouses at a value, an estimated value of 15 billion Ghana cedis. Nobody can buy. In my constituency of Damango, Mr. Speaker, maize farmers are having a bad day. Groundnut farmers are having a bad day. It is principally because government is not spending, purchasing power is weakened, credit is unavailable, domestic produce cannot be absorbed, and money circulation is low, liquidity is not in the system. And that is why, Mr. Speaker, when you go out there on the streets of Ghana, the statement on the lips of many Ghanaians is that Finance Minister Atufor's money is just on paper. It's just on paper. Mr. Speaker, he makes allocations. Mr. Speaker, he makes allocations as he did when he appeared before this House. 1 billion for agriculture, 100 billion for that, this billion for that. But when you go and look at the actuals, releases are in many cases 30%. Finance Minister Atufor's money is only on paper. It's not in the pocket of ordinary citizens. Yeah. It's not in the pocket of farmers, Mr. Speaker. Yeah. It's not in the pocket of teachers. Yeah. It's not in the pocket of nurses. Yeah. And certainly it's not in the pocket of the unemployed, struggling Ghanaian youth. Yeah. Mr. Speaker, so our friends must get it clear. You can have all the data. You can have all the statistics. You can quieten the economy. You can close down economic activity. You will not have real economic growth in the real sectors. Your books will look good. But in the end, you will realize, Mr. Speaker, that on the streets, grassroots economics will tell you that people are really having a hard time. And ministers across here, Mr. Speaker, our friends, our colleagues, ministers, will attest to what I'm saying. No jobs are happening in the ministries because ministers will not get money to do their work. Ministries, departments, and agencies are not receiving any payment to be able to provide goods and services for the Ghanaian people. Mr. Speaker, this government, we want to caution and encourage them to get their priorities right. Mr. Speaker, they should invest in the real sectors. They should invest in agriculture. They should invest in infrastructure. They should invest in the service industry. They should invest in manufacturing. They should invest in areas which will unleash jobs and prosperity for the Ghanaian people. Mr. Speaker, but instead, what are they spending on? Mr. Speaker, what are they spending on? And by that, Mr. Speaker, by that, let me refer, Mr. Speaker, to the monetary policy report of the Bank of Ghana, dated September 2025. Specifically page 21, Mr. Speaker, where the Bank of Ghana, the central bank of our country itself, has said the 3 major threats to the national economy of our country, Mr. Speaker, continue to be, in their own words, increasing energy sector payments, revenue performance, rising compensation cost. The emphasis is mine, Mr. Speaker. I refer to rising compensation cost. Mr. Speaker, we have been promised a lean government, and we've been told that we have a lean government. But you have a lean government that is lean on the arms, lean on the limbs, lean in every part, but very bloated on the stomach. A Koshoko lean government. Mr. Speaker, you have a lean government where we have a special envoy for reparations, special envoy to the Caribbean regions, 18 deputy heads of missions. Mr. Speaker, if you want to get the evidence, this is your evidence. Mr. Speaker, in 2024, President Akufo-Addo's government, the distinguished and illustrious president of our country, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, Mr. Speaker, his government, Office of the President in 2024, Mr. Speaker, spent 326 million cedis on compensation in paying government workers, paying ministers, deputy ministers, presidential staffers. Mr. Speaker, in 2025, President Mohammed's government, Office of the President, President Mohammed's government has spent a whooping 540 million Ghana cedis on compensation. 50% increment. Mr. Speaker, so why can't we interrogate this? You have one government that is supposed to have a bloated government, another government that's supposed to have a lean government. The government that has a lean government is spent 356 million Ghana cedis on compensation. That is salary, paying salaries to their workers. The bloated government rather spends 547 million, 50% more, which is why, Mr. Speaker, I say that this is a Koshoko lean government. It is lean on the legs, it's lean on the limbs. Mr. Speaker, it is bloated with consumption because you are spending a lot. Mr. Speaker, let me conclude. In spite of all these problems, the government, Mr. Speaker, in spite of all these problems, the government wants to spend 1.2 billion United States dollars to purchase presidential debts. To purchase presidential debts. 1.2 billion Ghana cedis to purchase presidential debt. Mr. Speaker, I'm talking about 1.2 billion United States dollars to purchase presidential debt. When you cannot pay nurses, when you cannot pay teachers, when you cannot buy farm produce, when you cannot recruit workers. Mr. Speaker, let me conclude. President Mahama taught us and reminded the country that President Akufo-Addo should take charge. He should not engage in blame game. That is responsible for resolving the problems of this country. President Mahama should take charge. Mr. Speaker, I should take charge, and this minority, this MPP minority,
yes,
this MPP minority, this mighty minority, we are saying, so far, so not well. So far, so not good. So far, so much unemployment and suffering. That is what this 2026 budget is offering the Ghanaian people. Suffering and unemployment. I thank you, Mr.
Majority Leader, you have the floor. You have the floor. Yes, Majority Leader. Yes, Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, we agreed from the onset. To allow free flow of debate, and we're all committed to that. But then we caution that we should be accurate in our statistics and our figures. Mr. Speaker, he said that in this budget, 1.2 billion has been allocated to buy a presidential jet. Mr. Speaker, he should just show us which line item contained in the budget has an allocation or a proposal of $1.2 billion for the purchase of a presidential jet. Mr. Speaker, it is important. This is a House of Records. Otherwise, you have to expunge this from the records of this House. Because nowhere in this budget is $1.2 billion allocated for the purchase of a presidential jet. $1.2 billion. How much is Air Force One? Air Force One, how much does it cost? How much does Air Force One cost? For us to allocate $1.2 billion for a presidential jet. Mr. Speaker, he should show us. He should show us $1.2 billion United States dollars for a presidential jet. I want to see that.
Yes, honorable member.
Mr.
First,
Speaker,
mention the page so that everybody can be with you.
Mr. Speaker, thank you very much. And Mr. Speaker, let me thank you for the opportunity to respond to the Honorable Majority Leader and to answer his inquiry. Mr. Speaker, may I refer the House to page 184 of the budget statement. Mr. Speaker, and at page 184 of the budget statement, you will see retooling of the Air Force. Mr. Speaker, and retooling of the Air Force, you will see CAPEX. Mr. Speaker, CAPEX meaning capital expenditure. Mr. Speaker, capital expenditure. And Mr. Speaker, I referred only to the two presidential jets, which I referred to the two presidential jets, which are. But Mr. Speaker, if you have the budget there, please, if you have the budget with you, you will see. Mr. Speaker, if you have the budget at page 184, you will see at CAPEX that what is actually being budgeted for the retooling of the Ghana Armed Forces is Ghana Air Force, Mr. Speaker, is 2.5 billion. 2.5 billion.
Is it dollars or cedis?
2.5 billion Ghana cedis. Hold on. Mr. Speaker, 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 Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, 2.5 billion to buy two presidential jets. To buy two presidential jets. And Mr. Speaker, you will see, Mr. Speaker, you will see again at paragraphs 1087 and 1091 of the budget statement, 1091 of the budget statement, that $1.2 billion is being programmed, Mr. Speaker, to buy two presidential jets, 4 helicopters.
You are calling another paragraph.
No, Mr. Speaker, no, I'm making a point. And the point I made, Mr. Speaker, I'm making a point. The point I sought to make was that if you have this amount of money, teachers have not been paid, nurses have not been paid, farmers' produce are not being bought, market women are complaining about purchases. There are numerous problems in our country. Why will you spend $1.2 billion to buy two presidential jets, 4 helicopters, and 1 ship? That is the point I've made, Mr. Speaker. That's the point.
Honourable members, I think that when the figure is quoted in cedis and you want to quote it from the budget, you have to quote what exactly is in the budget. Ghana cedis is quite different from dollars. Honourable members, because the figure quoted by the former Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, he placed on the record dollars. When given the opportunity, he now mentions cedis.
Mr. Speaker, with the greatest of respect. Mr. Speaker, this is a house of record. Mr. Speaker,
yes.
This is a house of record.
Honorable Majority
and,
Leader.
Mr. Speaker, and it's a matter of personal integrity. Let me state my position. Mr. Speaker, I am prepared to be corrected if I'm wrong, but in this case, I'm not wrong. Mr. Speaker, with the greatest respect, this is a matter of personal integrity. Mr. Speaker,
but in your debate, you quoted dollars.
No, but what the dollars is $1.2 billion to buy 2 presidential jets, 4 helicopters, and 1 ship.
Which page of the budget?
That is the point I'm making, and you will find it at paragraph 1087 and 1091 of the budget. Mr. Speaker, what I refer to in the budget itself, Mr. Speaker, what I refer to in the budget itself is a retooling of Ghana Air Force at the CAPEX column, which is the capital expenditure, which is retooling of Ghana Air Force, which is 2.5 billion Ghana cedis. The 1.2 billion United States dollars is for the purchase of 2 presidential jets,
so
4 helicopters, 1
mention which item in the budget.
And in no humility and modesty, I'm a lawyer. I checked my facts out.
Mention the line item in the budget.
And I know what I'm talking about. It's $1.2 billion.
Yes, Honorable Ayariga. Yes, Honorable Ayariga.
I have it. Mr. Speaker.
Yes.
This is a house of records. This is a house of records. And the honorable member who just spoke is a former cabinet minister for lands and natural resources. I need not to lecture him on the value and importance of accuracy. Mr. Speaker, he referred us to page 184, and I have opened page 184 and item 34, Ministry of Defense. Let's go through the items. The third item under Ministry of Defense is retooling of the Air Force. Retooling of the Air Force. And the figure there, CAPEX, is 2,532,000,000 Ghana cedis. Mr. Speaker,
Yes, Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I went to primary school in Boku. You may doubt the quality of the schools in Boku, but I cannot imagine which primary school you went, where you were taught that if you convert 2 billion into dollars, you get 1 billion. I don't know which primary school you went to. I went to Boku, a primary school in Boku, and I know that if you use the exchange rate at the Bank of Ghana, what's the figure? 200. You get $260 million. $260 million. How can you say that when you convert 2 billion, you get $1 billion? How can you convert 2 billion Ghana cedis and get $1 billion? What kind of mathematics did you learn in school? Where did you learn mathematics? Which primary school did you attend? How can you convert 2 billion Ghana cedis and get $1.5 billion? In any case, Mr. Speaker, he said the allocation was for a presidential jet. He said a presidential jet. The records will bear us out. The videos are there. You said a presidential jet, $1.2 billion. How much is Air Force One? Air Force One, how much is it? How much is Air Force One? Mr.
Yes.
Speaker, he must withdraw. He must withdraw, and it must be expelled from our records.
Honourable members will get to the root of this matter.
This debate has been plagued with lies, inaccuracies, fabricated figures by the minority in order to bolster their argument. We will not accept it. You must be accurate in this debate. I will oppose you.
Order. Honorable Samuel Abdullahi Jinapo. Now, an issue has been raised about you quoting $1.2 billion. Now, for presidential jet. Now we are debating the budget. You claimed that the figure is emanating from the budget. The question is, take us to the budget item that indicated $1.2 billion for presidential jets. So take us to the line item in the budget. If we do not have it in the line item in the budget, then do the honorable thing.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, and I should particularly thank you for your indulgence, as this matter borders on my personal integrity. Mr. Speaker, if I got it wrong, I will have no difficulty by withdrawing and apologizing and moving on. But Mr. Speaker, let me crave your indulgence. Mr. Speaker, let me crave your indulgence by indicating to my senior brother, the majority leader, that I also went to Fufuso Primary School in the Savannah region. Mr. Speaker, the majority leader asked me a question. He posed a question to me that where did I attend my basic school? Mr. Speaker, I attended my basic school in Fufuso Preparatory Primary School in the Savannah region. Mr. Speaker, when I was in primary school, I sat on the floor and I was in a modest primary school. I know that the majority leader, having attended school in Boko, proceeded to school in Harvard. And he's had very great height. That is commendable, and I salute him for that. Mr. Speaker, like many Ghanaians, I schooled in modest circumstances. Mr. Speaker, I will please, Mr. Speaker, before I proceed, Mr. Speaker, I know you are a man of fairness and justice. I know that. Mr. Speaker, and I know that you will not allow any member of this House, regardless of his status in this House, to disrespect, to denigrate, to demean myself, and by extension, the thousands and millions of Ghanaians who went to school in deprived communities. And Mr. Speaker, before I proceed to answer your question, and with the greatest of respect, Mr. Speaker, with the greatest of respect to you, may I humbly, very humbly, and kindly plead with my senior brother, the majority leader, the leader of this House, the man who leads all of us, and the man who guides all of us, to please kindly do the needful by withdrawing and apologizing to my modest, humble selves and the thousands of Ghanaians for this insult. Before I proceed.
Honourable members, order. Honourable members, order. Honourable members, order. Honourable members, let's have order. Honourable members, let's listen to each other in silence. Honourable Samuel Abdullah Jinapo, I'm capable of dealing with all issues together. So just answer my question, and in conclusion, you will see what I will do. Honourable members, I have listened to both sides. I know what to do in the circumstances. So let's get the main issue resolved, and I will give consequential orders. Honourable members, I will give consequential orders. So my question is on the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker.
Order. Honourable members.
Mr. Speaker. May I proceed, Mr. Speaker?
Yes, you have the floor.
Mr. Speaker, out of respect to you, I will proceed to give the answer. And by giving the answer, Mr. Speaker, I refer the House to page 136 of the budget. Specifically, 136 of the budget. Mr. Speaker, page 136 of the budget. Specifically paragraph. Why? No. Mr. Speaker, specifically paragraphs 1091 and 1092. And I quote, Mr. Speaker. And I quote. Mr. Speaker, this is what the Finance Minister said to this House. Mr. Speaker, the Ghana Air Force will be retooled. Beginning 2026, the government of Ghana will begin the procurement processes for the acquisition of 4 modern helicopters, 1 long range and 1 medium range aircrafts. Mr. Speaker, these aircrafts are expected to be delivered in 4 years' time if the procurement processes are completed in 2026. And then, Mr. Speaker.
Honourable members, why?
And then, Mr. Speaker, I then refer the House to page 184. Page 184 of the budget statement. Mr. Speaker, under item 34 titled Ministry of Defence. Mr. Speaker, where it is captured retooling of the Air Force, where the CAPEX, capital expenditure, is quoted by 2.5 billion cedis. Mr. Speaker, if we multiply that by 4 years, which the Finance Minister has indicated in page 136, if we multiply that by 4 years, which the Finance Minister has multiplied in the page 184, Mr. Speaker, every year they will provide for it. Mr. Speaker, let me conclude. Mr. Speaker, let me conclude. Mr. Speaker, let me conclude. Mr. Speaker, let me conclude that the statement I made in my contribution to the debate of the budget is on firm grounds, it's on terra firma. They are beginning this year and they are going to continue for 4 years. And this year, 2.5 billion have been programmed. If you multiply it by 4, it's $1.2 billion to buy 1 ship, to buy 4 helicopters, and to buy 2 presidential jets. Mr. Speaker, the facts and the data are unimpeachable and unequivocal. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honourable members, order.
Mr. Speaker, and now we are waiting for the apology. We are waiting for the apology.
Honourable members, order. Honourable members. Honourable members, order. Honourable members, order. Before I begin to name and shame, honourable members, no one judges a swimmer by the certificate on the shore. You cannot be judged a best swimmer by showing your certificate on the shore. The budget statement is before us. And I can conclusively say that nowhere in the budget statement has a dollar been indicated. Because all relevant pages that are referred to, we can all see that dollar has not been mentioned. Therefore, the submission referring to page 136 of the budget, as well as page 184 of the budget, we all have copies of the budget, and we cannot see any dollar mentioned. Honourable members, paragraph 1091 and paragraph 1092 has been mentioned. Honourable members, if you look at those paragraphs, as a matter of fact, those paragraphs never mention any figure. Honourable members, I will consequentially order that because the honourable member did not refer to a specific page in which the dollar is indicated, everything said by the honourable member in dollar should be expunged completely from the record. Now, Honourable Majority Leader, the honourable member indicated clearly that you have attended basic school somewhere. You don't know which school he has attended. He has taken an offense from it. So, Honourable Majority Leader, you are brothers and you are friends. I will call on you to have that withdrawn, and then we can make progress.
Mr. Speaker, Fufulsu Primary School is a very good primary school. I know very, very senior civil servants and academics who are products of Fufulsu Primary School. And I know that you had a good maths teacher in that school. I know you had a good maths teacher in that school. Mr. Speaker, because I know that you had a good maths teacher in that school, that's why I'm surprised that when you convert 2 billion Ghana cedis, when you convert 2 billion Ghana cedis into dollars, you get 1.2 billion. When you convert 2 billion Ghana cedis, you get 1.2 billion dollars. I was surprised because I know the school is very good, and I know you had a good maths teacher. So it is obvious that it is not the school. It is not the school. The school is good. The maths teacher was good. The teachers are good. But how you get $1.2 billion from 2 billion Ghana cedis still baffles me. But Mr. Speaker, if he feels offended, I, who went to Boku
Of the budget, and you again refer us to page 184 of the budget. What you said is not contained in the budget.
I have been trying to catch your attention. Speaker, we want to get to the bottom of this matter. And Speaker, I invite you to the budget. Everybody should take the budget. Those who have copies should take the budget.
You are not
Speaker,
making any assertion.
What the member said is true.
I have given
it's
him
in the budget. No. Speaker, the figure there is 2.6 billion Ghana cedis. Now, note it, write it down. And then let's move on to page 190.
Which is a commitment for 2027.
Now, that is a commitment for 2027. Under the same description, retooling of the Air Force, and that is 3.5 billion Ghana cedis. Now, let's move on.
Page 196.
Now, let's move on.
196. Page 196.
Now, Speaker, page 196, page 916. Under the same description, retooling of the Air Force, and that is 3.3 billion as against the year 2028. Let us move on.
It's a medium-term budget.
Which is 208.
Now, then we go to page. No, be patient. No. Now, Speaker, come with me to page 202. Under the same description, retooling of the Air Force, it comes up to some 3.5 billion Ghana cedis. Now, why are you in a hurry? Now, Speaker, I attended Whole Anglican Primary School.
we have moved away from the school that we have attended.
Well, it's just by the way. Now, when you put all that together, Speaker, when you put all that together, even granted that even your mathematics is so bad, if you put all the four together, it comes up to 4 years. 4 years. It's captured in the budget. It comes up to 12.9 billion Ghana cedis. Now, who divided on yourself?
11. So
divide it quickly. I want to convert to dollars. Yes. You people, why are you running away for your budget? Nothing is here. It's here. It comes out to what? The dollars?
it comes out to 1.29 billion.
Okay. Yes. Yes. It is 11 or 10? 10. Now, Speaker. Speaker, do a simple arithmetic and you are bid to convert it into dollars. A simple arithmetic. Divide that figure by 10. Some 1.29 million, right?
You are dividing it by what? You are dividing it by what?
$1.29 billion.
You are dividing it by what?
Now you see.
Hello, Honorable Minority Chief Whip. You are dividing it by what?
Speaker, can I conclude? I want to conclude. Our majority leader, clearly, leader, your Boku mathematics is suspect. Majority leader, revisit your Boku mathematics. Your Boku mathematics is suspect. Now, we are not inventing these figures. These figures were prepared at the instance of the president by the finance minister. If you doubt, majority leader, don't oscillate. Don't oscillate. If you doubt these figures, I quoted the pages to you, and I quoted the figures to you. If you doubt it, come back and respond to these figures. Mr. Speaker, we beg you. Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Minority. You are done.
I'm not done.
Are you done?
Speaker, we are saying we have insisted in all our presentation. It has been based on facts. In all our presentation, it has been based on facts.
Honorable Minority Chief Whip. Honorable Minority Chief Whip. I believe you agree with me that all the pages that you have referred to and all the figures that you have quoted, none is in dollars. Yes, Majority Leader, you have the floor. Majority Leader, you have the floor.
Leader, let me say conclusion.
Majority Leader, you have the floor.
Yeah, so clearly, can I conclude? Oh, Leader, I want to conclude so I can speak.
I thought you've concluded.
You're the leader of the House. You have had so many times. Let me conclude and you can speak.
I thought you have concluded.
So, we don't need to belabor the point. My respected ranking member was on all fours in terms of the facts. Mr. Speaker, you can argue that the figure is not quoted in dollars. Yes, but you can do the conversion. When you do the conversion, he's not far from right. He's not far from right. Majority Leader, I beg you.
Honorable Minority Chief Whip, why would the figure be quoted in our legal tender?
Well,
then you will be doing conversion. Yes, Honorable Majority Leader, you have the floor.
You have the seat.
You have the floor.
Mr. Speaker, let's not forget what was the issue. Let's get back to what was really the issue. The honorable member in the debate
Honorable Samuel Abujinapo, I think you have to stop what you are doing.
Mr. Speaker.
Yes.
What was the issue? In Honorable Jinapo's submissions, in his comments, he said that we were buying a presidential jet for $1.2 billion. He said we're buying a presidential jet for $1.2 billion. That was why I got up. I normally don't interrupt debate. I have a book. I take note of everybody's argument. As I'm sitting, I'm writing. I take note of everybody's argument because I will have an opportunity to respond in the end. But when you throw out a figure out there that we are buying a presidential jet for $1.2 billion, the cameras captured it. We can play it back. The cameras captured it. That was why I got up on my feet and said, no, it's not possible. I even asked you, how much does Air Force One cost? So clearly he was wrong. When you now get up and say that all commitments for the next 4 years, yes, for it to
Honorable members, I am observing carefully the disorderly conduct.
Mr. Speaker, I was in this chamber sometimes, I think more than a decade before many of you arrived. What you are doing, we've done Westerns. So I can assure you, it won't stop me from making my point. I'm saying that it will not stop me from making the point I want to make today. Even if we will sit here till midnight, my point I will make. And the point is that you lied when you said that we are spending $1.2 billion to buy a presidential jet. You lied.
are now trying to correct yourself by saying that all commitments for the next 4 years to retool the Air Force.
Honorable Majority Leader.
To retool the Air Force
Honorable
is
Majority
1.2 billion.
Honorable Majority Leader, with all due respect, the statement may not be correct, but the use of the word lied. I will ask that the lie be expunged. Order. I have given my directives, so all should resume their seats. So, Majority Leader, you have the floor.
Mr. Speaker, if there's nothing in the budget, that says that the government is buying a presidential jet for 1.2 billion, and a member stands and says that the government is buying a presidential jet for 1.2 billion, he has lied. It's a lie. It's a lie. It's a lie. What? Okay, so Mr. Speaker, do you want me to say that he was peddling falsehood? It's a lie. So, Mr. Speaker, it's a lie. And when we try to correct that, you now go and then take 4 years commitment for retooling the Air Force, and you now say that, oh, it justifies your earlier misrepresentation. You misrepresented. It's not in the budget. We're discussing 2026. It is possible for us to change the figures in 2027. We can change the figures in 2028, depending on the performance of the economy. So I don't have a problem. I'm not running away from spending 1.2 billion to retool our Air Force. I'm not running away. On the contrary, we in the NDC are very proud that we are able to spend 1.2 billion to retool our Air Force. We are very proud. You run the economy down. You mismanage the economy. You could not even raise money. You could not raise money to support the Air Force. We are confident. We are proud. We are happy that we have the capacity, and in the next 4 years, we will retool the Ghana Air Force and we will invest 1.2 billion United States dollars in the Air Force. We will. In the Air Force. We will. For 4 years. That's a problem. So, Mr. Speaker, I still stand my grounds that when he said that we are purchasing a presidential jet for 1.2 billion United States dollars, it is not in the records, and your decision that it should be struck off the records is right. If you go and tabulate all planned expenditure on retooling the Air Force, not buying a presidential jet, I will oppose. I will lead this house. I will lead this side. And if they don't support me, I will lead whoever is willing to be led to oppose using 1.2 billion of our money to buy a presidential jet. I will oppose it. But Mr. Speaker, I am happy. I am proud. I support the finance minister in the next 4 years, to invest $1.2 billion in retooling our Air Force. I support it.
Yes, former defense minister.
Mr. Speaker, the majority leader is the leader of the House, and he's supposed to help you to control the House with the others. But when he misleads the House, especially the fact that I'm sitting here, Mr. Speaker, I have the right to correct him. Mr. Speaker, we came here in 2023, Mr. Speaker. No, 2022, Mr. Speaker, July. I laid in this house the purchase of 6 LNG fighter jets for this our nation. Mr. Speaker, the cost of those aircraft at that time, the commitment we gave this nation was 150 million euro at a rate of 15 cedis to 1 euro. If you calculate, that's 1.6 billion Ghana cedi. Mr. Speaker, we committed this nation at one time, not 4 years, to 1.6 billion Ghana cedi. So when you say that we didn't do it,
the issue on the floor, in charge of defense, does retooling amount to purchase of presidential jet?
Mr. Speaker, I'm saying that tomorrow, I will say it, but I'll repeat it tomorrow. I will say it now. Mr. Speaker, I will say it now, but I'll repeat tomorrow. But let me read. Mr. Speaker, let me read page 136. Mr. Speaker, go to page 136, paragraph 1091. Mr. Speaker, the Ghana Air Force will be retooled, full stop. Beginning 2026, the government of Ghana will begin the procurement processes for the acquisition of 4 modern helicopters and 1 long range and 1 medium range aircraft. These are presidential jets. A long range aircraft is not for the Air Force, it's for your comfort. It's presidential jets. The medium size, look, Boeing jets or Airbus jets are the long ones. And I mentioned that we did that one. They carry no less than 100 people. The medium range carry at least 25 people. They are all presidential jets. They are not CASA. They are not military jets. They are presidential jets.
Well,
once
you choose to set your own question instead of answering the question, may you humbly resume your seat.
They are not military jets. They are presidential jets.
May you humbly
for the
resume your
comfort of
seat.
the executive.
Very humbly.
Mr. Speaker, for the comfort of the executive, not for the soldiers. But tomorrow I will expand because I'll get my chance. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honourable members, when it comes to military, I may be a layman, but I do not understand retooling to amount to purchase of presidential jets. And honourable members, I have looked at the relevant pages referred to by the minority chief whip for 4 years. I have not seen any quotation of any amount in dollars. I still stand by my directives that everything said by Honorable Samuel Abdullahi Jinapor relating to $1.2 billion be expunged from the record as not being correct. All right, members, let's make progress.
We want to thank you for your directives, but we on this side are not worried, even in the list. We are not worried in the list.
It's this beautiful document that has given hope to the people of Ghana, the ordinary man on the streets, that all of them together have come together trying to find one fault in this beautiful document. It was a great surprise that they brought all their mathematicians and their calculators to the front bench, calculating figures to find one fault. Thank God they couldn't find one, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, it's also surprising to hear them propounding solutions to problems they could have solved. They could have solved in, the last 8 months. Today, we have taken over and we have provided solutions to problems that they have created. Mr. Speaker, today, market women in Hohwe called me and they were very happy because according to them, the budget was written to their understanding. Because number one, the VAT reforms that the government has brought has relieved or will relieve most of them of tax burdens. Mr. Speaker, I heard one of our senior colleagues about food inflation, that people are not able to buy, people are a lot of things. That yesterday, Mr. Speaker, because I'm a bachelor, I went to the market and I was able to buy what they were talking about, Mr. Speaker. Last year, this rice, which is Abena rice, was sold at 164 Ghana cedis. Just last year, Christmas, 164 Ghana cedis. This fried tom, Mr. Speaker, was sold at 60 Ghana cedis. Yesterday, just yesterday, Mr. Speaker, I bought this for 99 Ghana cedis. And I bought this oil, Mr. Speaker, for 39 Ghana cedis. This is evidence of the economy that we have transformed from where they left it, the junk status, to the status that we have transformed it up to. Mr. Speaker, the COVID levy that has been that will be taken out of our budget next year, which a member of parliament one of the members of parliament said it has not been taken out. Mr. Speaker, according to the market women, they said this COVID levy is going to put back in their pocket of them 3.7 billion Ghana cedis. 3.7 billion Ghana cedis. Mr. Speaker, all these are good news for our businessmen, our traders, and the ordinary man on the street. Mr. Speaker, on unemployment, last year, the Vice President said he created 2.1 million jobs. 2.1 million, that is more than the unemployed Ghanaians in the country. We have come out with holistic programs that will give jobs to our people. 800 jobs mentioned in the budget, creating jobs for the 800,000 jobs to be created in all angles. Mr. Speaker, one is the 24-hour economy. 24-hour economy that we are debating. Today you go to Adenta, this yearly office in Adenta is running for 24 hours. Passport office is running for 24 hours. It means we have begun something last year and we are going to continue. Mr. Speaker, when you look at the economic, agriculture, modernization and agro-industry jobs, that's under Ministry of Agri, Feed Ghana, Farmer Service Center, Farm Banks, all these are creating jobs for the youth, including our brothers at the other side, including MPP members. All of them are getting jobs under this, unlike the failed projects that they introduced that collapsed under their watch just last year. Mr. Speaker, aside this, we have Youth Employment Agency, we have the digital skills, we have the Coders program, we have the digital centers that are opening regional offices to create more jobs for our youth. Mr. Speaker, Youth in Apprenticeship program has been allocated.
Honourable Member, your time is up. I'll give the floor to Honourable Nana Asafo-Adjei. You have 15 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I am grateful for giving me this opportunity to also comment to the budget statements made by the Finance Minister for and on behalf of the President of Ghana. Mr. Speaker, before I begin, I want to pay tribute to the young ladies that lost their lives during the military recruit stampede. Mr. Speaker, I share with their families, and I want to console each and every young man that fell victim as part of that job recruitment stampede. Those from Kumasi, those in Accra, and the rest of the country. Mr. Speaker, this brings me to a very critical and very important point, which is job creation. These young men and women left home to go look for jobs. Mr. Speaker, not just any jobs, but secured, sustainable jobs. That is what they went to look for. Mr. Speaker, when the finance minister in 2025 read the budget, some young men of this country were happy. Mr. Speaker, they were happy because in that budget allocation, or in that budget, the finance minister made some provision to job creation, and they were happy. Mr. Speaker, he mentioned the National Apprenticeship Program, where he allocated 300 million for that project. Mr. Speaker, he mentioned the Ejumera project or program, where he allocated 100 million to that program. He mentioned the Digital Job Initiative, 1 million coders, and allocated 100 million to that. Then Kokon Kitinkiti, 245 million, and allocated 245 million. The Agriculture for Jobs and the National Employment Trust Fund. Mr. Speaker, when we were doing that budget debate here, I reminded my colleagues at the other side that President John Dramani Mahama, and the Hansard will bear me out, is not a new entity in the scheme of things. We know him. He has been a president before, and I recounted the things he mentioned to entice the youth, yet he failed to achieve them. Mr. Speaker, I mentioned the JIDA program. I mentioned the Sada tree planting program. I mentioned the Inconfirm program. I mentioned the youth in beads making. I mentioned the youth in potholes patching. I mentioned the youth in movie making. All these programs were programs the President John Dramani Mahama promised the young people, but ended up in sham. Mr. Speaker, if you look at the appropriation or you look at the disbursement, Mr. Speaker, all the programs I have mentioned here did not even get any allocation at all. Those who got allocation was not even more than 20% of them. So the young people in this country who want jobs to be 2025 budget ended up not having any job. Mr. Speaker, again, when you look at the budget here, in the 2026 budget, he has again rehashed and mentioned again these same programs. Mr. Speaker, he mentioned now the Mr. Speaker, he mentioned the Ejumera program again, and now allocated 160 million. He mentioned the Nkukon Kitinkiti allocated 250 million. In the National Coders allocated 100 million. Now the National Apprenticeship Program, Mr. Speaker, he mentioned 300 million in the 2025 budget and now reduced it to 100 million in the 2026 budget. Mr. Speaker, now in the 2024 budget, they didn't mention any figure, but told us in this house that the national coordinator for the 24-hour program will come to this house. The Speaker, he came to this house, put out his figures, and the program was launched. In the launch of that program, they mentioned that the 24-hour program, the flagship program of the NDC, the Speaker, would require 4 billion to do that. Now, in that document, the component of government commitment to that 4 billion, the Speaker, will be 7% of that 4 billion. Now, when you do 7% of that 4 billion, it is $280 million. The Speaker, when you look into the allocation of the 2026 budget, the minister and the government allocated 110 million. The Speaker, 110 million in dollars is $11 million, which is 3.92% of the allocation that is supposed to say. Mr. Speaker, the question we are asking is that, is this government committed to job creation? Is the youth who are looking up to this government that is going to create jobs should still be hoping and looking forward that jobs will indeed be created? Mr. Speaker, again in the budget, there were some components of jobs that were mentioned. Mr. Speaker, they mentioned that they were going to create 800,000 jobs. Mr. Speaker, and the 800,000 jobs, 490,000 of that 800,000 jobs are going to come from Big Push. Mr. Speaker, first and foremost, the allocation to the Big Push is questionable based on the 2025 allocation or disbursement. Two, the jobs that are available, when you look at the World Bank report, Mr. Speaker, I have it here. The World Bank report is saying that only 13% of Ghanaian young men have sustainable jobs. And majority of the Ghanaians who are out there, those who died in Ewak, those who were stampeded in Kumasi, are skilled laborers and professionals. The Speaker, yet the major component of the jobs that will be created by the 800,000 jobs are going to be laborer and pongpo work. Mr. Speaker, now out of the 800,000 jobs, 250,000 of that jobs is going to come from the National Oil Policy, National Policy on Oil Palm Development Program. Mr. Speaker, it's a good initiative. I commend it. But Mr. Speaker, what is interesting is that in that budget, in the 2026 budget, paragraph 929, Mr. Speaker, in that budget, it is stating that the Oil Palm Development Program is a program that is spanning from 2026 to 2032. So, Mr. Speaker, the 250,000 jobs they are even mentioning, it's not 2016, it is 2032. Mr. Speaker, and yet again, it is not a sustainable job, it is a temporary job. Mr. Speaker, I want to submit on this point. And say that, Mr. Speaker, the youth of this country has been deceived. The youth of this country who were queuing and singing, Mahama is a oh, is a oh. Mr. Speaker, they have ended up. Mr. Speaker, they have ended up. The youth now have ended up singing, Mahama Dadamia, Mahama Dadamio, Mahama Dadamia, Jejemia Kukume. Mr. Speaker, what is again important here? What is important here is that
are we in a music studio?
There is, Mr. Speaker, what is important here is that there is a hidden agenda. There's a hidden agenda of non-job creation, the austerity measures of IMF hidden in this budget. Mr. Speaker, I take you back to the 2025 budget. Mr. Speaker, we go to page 84, paragraph 478. Mr. Speaker, with your permission, I read. In 2025, government would implement the following measures to keep the wage bill within sustainable levels. 1, fully implement the net freeze on employment by immediately putting on hold all recruitment, placement into public services. Mr. Speaker, this again, the public services and the recruitment did not find expression in the 2026 budget. Mr. Speaker, it is telling you that the hidden IMF agenda of austerity measure is playing here, and the youth of this country, Mr. Speaker, have no hope, have nowhere to turn to. Mr. Speaker, I again want to submit to the youth who are hoping and looking forward to the president and to this government to give them job, that there is no commitment of this government in creating jobs. None. Mr. Speaker, a government that is interested in creating jobs, Mr. Speaker, now allocate 290 million for the distribution of sanitary pads. Distribution of sanitary pads. And now, Mr. Speaker, allocates 100 million for the training of 1 million coders. Mr. Speaker, the youth out there, I am telling you that the distribution of sanitary pad is more important to the NDC government than the training of coders he mentioned. Mr. Speaker, the National Apprenticeship Program has been allocated 170 million, yet the sanitary pad has been allocated 292 million. Mr. Speaker, the Ejumera has been allocated 160 million, while the sanitary pad has been allocated 292 million. Mr. Speaker, I am not surprised that all these things put together is telling the youth of this country that the hope is hopeless and there is nothing to look up for in the NDC administration or the NDC budget, particularly the 2026 budget. Mr. Speaker, I am saddened that the president makes some mentions of allocations in the budget, yet nothing was done about it. So it gives me so much problem or difficulty to believe and accept the allocations that were mentioned in the 2026 budget. Mr. Speaker, in paragraph 629, in paragraph 629, it mentioned the creation of the whole airport and making it a training hub. Mr. Speaker, nothing of that happened. Now, when you come to the 2026 budget, it mentioned again in paragraph 999 that the Bolgatanga airport will be created. Mr. Speaker, if I'm somebody in Bolgatanga, I will not believe this government, because even the whole people have not even had their budget in their allocation to the airport in 2025. Mr. Speaker, again, he mentioned that in 2025 budget, that there is an allocation of 242.5 million to the victim support of Akosomo Dam spillage. Mr. Speaker, that support to the Akosomo Dam spillage never happened. Now they are making another allocation in the 2025-26 budget that 500 million is being allocated to the dam spillage, victims of the dam spillage. Mr. Speaker, I ask that, is it an addition to the 242 million that was in the 2025 budget, or they have scrapped the 42.5 million and they are now giving them a new 500 million? Mr. Speaker, clearly for me, the commitment of the government to job creation is questionable, it's in doubt, and it's not something we must place our head. Mr. Speaker, I am not surprised that the president is rather now committing to the purchase of an aircraft, a presidential jet, helicopter, and a ship at the cost of $1.2 billion. Mr. Speaker, that argument, our side still holds, and our argument, we still stand by it. Mr. Speaker, with these few words, Mr. Speaker, that was admitted by the majority. Mr. Speaker, that's fair. Our position and our price, the prices for the purchase of the aircraft, Mr. Speaker, is 1.2 billion, and we are surprised that there are important commitments that need to be done for the young people of this country to have jobs. Yet, the NDC government is interested in purchasing and procuring aircrafts and presidential jets.
Honorable member,
I want to
honorable
thank
member,
you for the opportunity,
will you kindly withdraw the purchase of jet 1.2 billion? I will again give consequential directives that nowhere is it stated in the budget that $1.2 billion will be used to purchase aircraft. Accordingly, same is ordered to be expunged from the record as not being correct statement. I will then give the floor to Honorable Kwame Jijoli-Gakwe.
You are saying where? Look at me very well. No amount of propaganda, no amount of voodoo calculation, no amount of a day calculation will stop me from setting the record. Mr. Speaker, I use the opportunity to thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to contribute to the budget statement and economic policy of the government of Ghana for 2026 fiscal financial year. resetting the growth, job, and economic transformation. Mr. Speaker, the vision of this government is anchored on agriculture. Agric is the way to go. In the financial statement, it stated clearly that government is embarking on commercialization, modernization, mechanization, value-driven and market-driven, youth and women-led centered policies. So meaning youth are there, the women are there. So when it comes to gendered budget statement, the gender factors are all factored into the agric. As I speak to you, I'm not going to talk about the whole policy because in this budget statement is like a good book, the Bible. So many things are in it. We can't finish today. I will just dwell on only two policies. One of them is the national policy on integrated oil palm development from 2026 to 2030. Ordinary in policies or strategic document is 5 or 6 years. And so what they stipulated in this budget statement is correct, 6 years. That is the framework for the oil palm. And then, Mr. Speaker, this is the red gold, and this is the way Ghana should go. Formerly, first, we were leading, but we are able to bring Malaysians to Ghana and taught them at the end of the day, they are moving faster than us. Mr. Speaker, as I speak to you, Ghana is importing over 200,000 metric tons of oil to this country. And when you check on the oil market, a ton of the palm oil is going around $1,000. So if you multiply it by 200,000, Ghana is hopefully losing about $200,000. So in terms of that, that can do a lot for this country, $200 million. In terms of this, Mr. Speaker, the red gold is going to bring a lot of job for the youth and the women. It's going to bring a lot of foreign exchange also. And then when you look at the value chain, looking at the red gold, what is the palm itself, the tree takes about 4 to 5 years before start bearing fruit. And it will take you 25 good years to be harvesting, for 25 good years before you replant. And then in terms of replanting it, the palm tree can be used. You can get palm wine. You can also get appetition from inside. Mr. Speaker, as I speak to you, when you look at the palm, in terms of fruits and drinks, we have palm oil, palm wine, palm sugar, palm kernel oil, palm sugar. Do research, you don't know. Do your research. Palm sugar is there. Bio shell fuel, palm kernel cake, and then palm oil, and then palm kernel oil. In terms of construction industry, palm oil, the palm tree can be used for leaves, are used for making roof, for shelter, for fencing. The trunks are used for log, they are used for pillars, and the leaves and fibers are woven into baskets as well as wall woven materials.
Honorable member for Suhu, why are you shouting?
In terms of households, palm oil, the palm tree can be used for broom, for furniture, for utensils, where the nut can be used to craft utensils. These are all value in terms of the value chain regards to palm alone. And if government is investing in palm nut plantation, is a way to go. Mr. Speaker, this is going to generate about 250,000 jobs when the plantation takes off. And government is going to cultivate over 100 hectares of plant plantation. And this 100 hectares is going to cost, and government is putting over 500, is it? 100,000, yes. And government is putting government is putting over $500 million into these investments, and which is fulfilling when you look at SDG 14, life beyond below water. In view of this, Mr. Speaker, this is the way to go. So I will urge everyone, including our colleagues on the other side, to take this initiative positively. So when you say that this book have nothing in it, I disagree with you. There are good news in this budget statement. So it's a good initiative, and then we all hands must be on deck to actually move on with this policy. Mr. Speaker, it will marvel you that it is only this time, in this era, that a budget statement will be read without Bible quotation. No Bible quotation was read. But in view of this, I want to give my colleagues one Bible quotation. They should go to Psalm 145 or 1 Chronicles 16:34. Listen to the wisdom. The Lord is good to all, and his tender mercy are all over President Mahama and the finance minister. Mr. Speaker, these are the good news in this budget statement. Mr. Speaker, I'll quickly move to aquaculture. Looking at this government this year was able to actually move through the revised version of the Fisheries and Aquaculture Act bill, and it was passed by this House. And the Fisheries and Aquaculture Act 2025 Act 1146 was marked as one of the turning points in regards to fishery industry in this country. As I speak to you, Cabinet have approved Ghana's first maritime protected area, which very soon will be in this House, because the MPA is very crucial. Why we Ghana did this is, it was actually located at the Greater Cape 3 Point into the western region, where the protection of these endangered species will rest, and the eco marine system and then fish habitat will continue to grow, because fish shortage is in Ghana. Ghana is importing a lot of fish, millions of dollars. Where we can go into aquaculture, the number of millions of dollars that are actually going out of this country can remain in this country, and they can boost our local economy. And as we speak, so this aquaculture initiative is going to boost, to unlock all the full potential with regards to the ocean economy. One of the things I would like to say is that in this government, in regards to the national blue economy, is on course, and the national blue economy is anchored on SDG 14, which talks about life below the water. One of the good things also with regards to this law we passed is about the EEZ, the exclusive economic zone, now have been extended from 6 nautical miles to 12 nautical miles, and that is good news for our fisher folks as we speak. And the government have allocated a lot of resources with regards to the aquaculture. Why am I saying this? Government have allocated an amount of 100 million Ghana cedis for aquaculture, where 200 farmers will be involved, and then 50 professionals will be trained to actually guide them. And this boils down to women and children, women and youth for this project. In addition to that, input alone, government have budgeted also about 50 million Ghana cedis with regards to the input as well as that. In terms of mini harbor as well as markets, government have allocated 50 million Ghana cedis for doing that in the next year. So if you claim that there is no good news in this budget, these are some of the good news I'm sharing with you. So this government is committed. The budget is inclusive in terms of gendered issues. Transparent budget tracking is also involved. Accountability in terms of the budget is also inclusive with regards to this budget statement. So in all, I would like to urge the House to approval of the budget, so that the good news in this budget will kick off. In all, Mr. Speaker, I would like to use this opportunity to thank you for giving me the opportunity to talk or contribute with regards to this budget. Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity.
Honourable members, I will then give the floor to Honourable Laurette Koko Asante. You have 15 minutes.
Mr. Speaker, I thank you for the opportunity to contribute to the debate on the 2026 budget statement and economic policy presented by the Honourable Minister for Finance. Mr. Speaker, the 2026 budget and economic policy presented to this House last week paints a glowing picture of prosperity and transformation, but beneath the glossy language and rhetoric lies a document full of half-baked measures, inconsistencies, and misguided fiscal priorities. The NDC government has left Ghanaians high and dry. They've left Ghanaians and kicked them to the curb, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the government plans to purchase 4 helicopters, 2 jets, and 2 offshore vessels, what my great-grandmother in my constituency will call 2 ships. Mr. Speaker, this will cost a whopping over 12 billion Ghana cedis, which some of my constituents and the average Ghanaian can understand. In tree, it will cost a Mr. Speaker, do you know what that money can do for the average Ghanaian to ease their lives, Mr. Speaker? Like my constituents in Kwabing, in Moso, and Paming, at a time when the government is asking Ghanaians to sacrifice more, this is a clear case, Mr. Speaker, of Midofo Adadame budget. Mr. Speaker, how can the government seek to purchase 4 helicopters with landing gear, which is extremely expensive, 2 offshore vessels, and 2 presidential jets? When, Mr. Speaker, please listen to me, House. This is very important. I'm not playing partisan here. At a time when the maternal mortality rate in Ghana is rising, I made a statement of this last week with facts, okay? When young women are dying during childbirth or immediately after childbirth, which their deaths could have been prevented because the causes are known and treatable. Yeah. Mr. Speaker, it's heartbreaking. It breaks my heart when I see the flyers, the funeral flyers of these young women who probably have recently married, dying.
Honorable Asante, I will ask that they should stop your time. Yes, Honorable Majority Chief Whip, they should stop your time. Yes.
Why?
Mr. Speaker, I will not ordinarily do this, but you have given firm directives. You've given firm directives that we should stay within the terms of the budget in making our comments. There's nowhere in this document that this government is purchasing presidential jets. By all means, comment on the matters stated in paragraph 135, on page 135 and paragraph 1075 onwards. But don't deliberately label them presidential jets. They are not. They are not. So the guide, please, the guide given by the Mr. Speaker is something that should be binding on all of us. Let's be guided. Then we can enjoy the comments. Mr. Speaker, thank you.
Yes, you have the floor. Yes, Deputy Minority Leader. Yes.
Mr. Speaker, I think we have a clear identification of aircrafts that are meant for military or defense intervention and aircrafts that are for normal travels and for the presidency. I don't think it's very wrong to say or imply that this is a presidential jet. And it's something, a we cannot change it, and it is it's because it's because when on this side the majority denied the opportunity to do so. That's why they want to hide from it. But there is no gainsaying that particular aircraft described as a long distance is a presidential jet. And we want to insist that.
Probably that is not what is stated in the budget. It may be your own interpretation. Yes, Honorable Koko Asante, you have the floor.
Mr. Speaker, as I was saying, how can the government seek to purchase jets, helicopters, and offshore vessels when cocoa farmers were given a paltry 12.27% in increase, which is about 396 cedis over this increase in price this year, when public sector workers were given a mere 9% increase, when emergency care is practically non-existent in Ghana because of the failure of our emergency care system, which remains severely under-resourced or entirely absent. When basic life-saving skills like defibrillators, which when you go to other countries, they're in supermarkets, they're in public places, they don't cost anything, it's non-existent to jump-start a person's heart if they have a heart attack. When ventilators and oxygen are missing and lacking in regional and district hospitals, when the country lacks catheterization labs in regional or district hospitals to diagnose and treat heart attacks and heart conditions, as a result, patients die in transit. You all remember Dr. Kwame Edufori, a Konfo-Anokye teaching hospital, dedicated doctor who saved lives. He was an emergency room doctor, and yet when he needed his life to be saved, when he needed an intervention, there was no cath lab at Konfo-Anokye Hospital. So what happened? What happened? He had to be transferred to Accra, and he died on the way. Isn't that heartbreaking?
It is.
So I'm wondering, my honorable members from the other side, to think about Dr. Edufori before they approve the jets and the vessels. Because if a cath lab, and the cath lab doesn't cost that much, okay? It's used for diagnostic and treatment, so it doesn't cost that much. Yet in spite of the urgent needs of the Ghanaian people, the NDC government still plans to buy the jets, the 2 jets, the 4 helicopters, and 2 ships. The cost of these jets and the helicopters and vessels can provide many cath labs and life-saving tools and medicines to equip regional and district hospitals to prevent tragedies. This significant sum, Mr. Speaker, can be better directed towards health and education, which have a more direct positive impact on the livelihood of the ordinary Ghanaian. Mr. Speaker, will traders who are suffering sit in the 2 jets? No. Will farmers who are suffering sit in the 4 helicopters? No. Will teachers who are suffering travel in the 2 jets? No. Will the nurses who are suffering use the offshore vehicles or ships? No. Mr. Speaker, the 2026 budget also does not have any immediate relief for the high utility tariffs. The budget statement failed to announce specific strong measures to drastically reduce the base tariffs that households pay for electricity and water. High utility costs remain a significant burden, major burden on families every month. The government's approach to utility costs does not provide for immediate and direct subsidies or tariff cuts for households. Electricity tariffs saw 3 increases this year, at least 14.75% in May, 2.45% on July 1st, and 1.14% on August 2025. Water tariffs also rose by 4.02% on May 3rd, 2025. But what the government plans to do, Mr. Speaker, again, is to buy 2 jets and 4 helicopters and 2 ships. Mr. Speaker, the government's priorities are clearly misplaced. Mr. Speaker, the budget also lacks a well-defined roadmap for execution of stalled projects. Despite the allocation of 100 million for completion of 10 Agenda 111 hospitals, the budget lacks detailed execution plans necessary to resolve the backlog of these stalled projects quickly and comprehensively. Specifically, there was no clear project-by-project schedule or phase completion date, right? Meaning that the communities cannot determine when the hospitals will be complete. Is it the first quarter of 2026, the second quarter, the third quarter? They can't determine. And this leads to fears in the community that the very commitment is too limited and risks further delays, frustrating local community members who are anxiously waiting for these benefits, like my constituents in the township of Abobosu, where there's an Agenda 111 hospital that is, Mr. Speaker, 93% or more complete. They're anxiously waiting to use it. Instead of that, the government, instead of completing more than the 10 Agenda 111 hospitals, they're rather prioritizing the purchase of 2 jets, 4 helicopters with landing pads, Mr. Speaker. That's no ordinary vessel, okay? And then, Mr. Speaker, plus 2 ships. I ask, Mr. Speaker, is that the priority of the country? Traders are suffering. Farmers are suffering. Nurses are suffering. Teachers are suffering. Mr. Speaker, the budget also lacks a dedicated program to support micro, small, and medium enterprises to overcome the current high interest rate and the cautious nature of banks at this time. This leaves businesses, Mr. Speaker, who are the main drivers of job creation without the quick funding they need to invest and grow, which slows down job creation. Mr. Speaker, the Women's Bank, which was not established, although in spite of it being in the 2025 budget, has found its way again in the 2026 budget. Thank you, Jesus.
Amen.
While the 401 million allocation in the 2026 budget meets the BOG, Bank of Ghana Capital requirement, but even though it meets the commercial bank threshold, it is not sufficient to really boost the capital base. Even though it's 451 now, it's not sufficient for overall operational and capital expenditure. Mr. Speaker, the question for the Women's Bank is, how much of the allocation will go into the real delivery of the micro enterprises? Mr. Speaker, women entrepreneurs do not need another public relations gimmick. They need access to credit. As it stands now, the Women's Bank is merely a promise without delivery. As we saw earlier in the 2025 budget, Mr. Speaker, traders are suffering. Mr. Speaker, the 2026 budget, instead of consolidating and strengthening existing structures, the budget simply repackages old promises to score political points. Women deserve better. They deserve practical economic empowerment backed by realistic financing. Mr. Speaker, the much-touted 24-hour economy was announced by the NDC government as one of their flagship initiatives intended to boost productivity and job creation. But the budget lacks clear details with regards to how the government's allocation of the 110 million will be spent, the exact incentives offered, and a definite timeline. While the plan is to involve the DBG, Development Bank, and the Ghana Infrastructure Investment Fund, the program's ultimate success hinges on private investment, which requires the government to quickly provide a clear and detailed blueprint that the stakeholders are still requesting. The funding is also inadequate. And I won't even go into the 133 or the 419, I don't want to get into that, okay? But anyway, Mr. Speaker, the 2026 budget undoubtedly shows no clear road arrears clearance. There is no schedule and no transparency on how accumulated arrears will be cleared. Contractors, Mr. Speaker, contractors are still in distress, financial distress. Many of them cannot pay loans.
Yes, Honorable Richard Achampong, Honorable Koko Asante, hold it. Honorable Richard Achampong, you have the floor.
Mr. Speaker, thank you very much. Mr. Speaker, I think we have time allotment for every member speaking. Leaders are supposed to use 1 hour each. Other leadership, we're giving them 35. Chairpersons, ranking, vice, 15 minutes. Other members, 5 minutes. I don't know if, but she's done more than 11 minutes. Ranking for which committee? So, Mr. Speaker, she has exceeded her time allotment.
Honorable Richard Achampong. Honorable Richard Achampong, I believe before submitting the list to me, you have to cross-check all this. What I have before me, Honorable Laurette Koko Asante is supposed to speak for 15 minutes. So if the case is that she's not supposed to speak for 15 minutes, before conclave, all these things should be ironed out.
And Mr. Speaker, thank you very much for the information. But I remember even the majority leader used certain words. He called upon him to retract those words. How can a member of parliament describe something as 419? Mr. Speaker, this is unparliamentary.
Honorable Koko Asante, the record will show that at the point when I, for instance, an event with 419, I was asked to withdraw and apologize. So kindly withdraw the word 419 and apologize. It is something that is associated with criminality. Please withdraw. Honorable Koko Asante, kindly withdraw.
Mr. Speaker, I believe if I recall correctly, I said I can't, I don't know if it's 133, I don't want to get into that. That's what I said. So...
Why?
Honorable members are directed that the use of 419, which is associated with criminality, should be expunged from our record as if it does not exist.
Mr. Speaker, I'm guided. Thank you.
Yes, you may continue.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Many of the contractors, as I was saying, are under distress. They can't pay their loans, can't pay workers, have had their equipment repossessed, and yet the government wants to buy 2 jets, 4 helicopters, 2 ships, when contractors are suffering, teachers are suffering, nurses are suffering, traders and farmers are suffering. Mr. Speaker, switching to education, which is critical for our national development. The education sector received a large nominal sum totaling 43.2 billion, 33.3 billion for the Ministry of Education, and 9.9 billion for GET Fund, which constitutes about 14.3% of the 2026 total government expenditure. However, this is still inadequate because it falls below the 15% to 20% international benchmark recommended by organizations like UNESCO. It's barely enough to solve the long-standing massive problems such as needed to improve teacher quality, teacher vacancies, and acquisition of necessary resources to meet global standards. Mr. Speaker, the underserved and rural constituencies, communities like my constituency, Etiwa West, the teacher shortage has reached real alarming levels, right? Schools in these areas operate with 1 or 2 teachers handling multiple classes, leading to chronic loss of instruction and deteriorating performance. There's a widening learning inequality between rural and urban areas, poor performance in core subjects, and rising dropout rates. Mr. Speaker, the problem of teacher shortage must be fully addressed. It has not. Mr. Speaker, TVET funding also has not received any major funding push, and for the long-term job skills mismatch. The youth need this, Mr. Speaker. The youth are suffering and they need skills training. So, Mr. Speaker, in conclusion, the 2026 budget is heavy on rhetoric. It's light on substance. The government came to power with loud promises. However, all we have now is spin. Ghanaians deserve better. They deserve a government that feels their pain and responds to their struggles. It's about time the government stopped playing chaskele with the Ghanaians. That this budget is Medofo Adadami budget. Medofo Adadami.
Honourable members, it's now the turn of Honourable Kofi Bentel Afu.
Thank
you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
You are speaking for 10 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for this opportunity to comment on the budget statement of the President as presented by the Minister for Finance to this House. And to go into it, Mr. Speaker, not too long ago, Ghanaians all over the country were in despair as to what was happening, to the extent that some have even lost confidence in the nation of not wanting to go to the polls to vote. Then came a savior in the person of President John Dramani Mahama. And in his first budget, which was presented to us this year, we saw most of the things he did to reset the economy. However, our friends on the other side have tried to argue that before the president took power, they had grown the economy by 5.7%. Mr. Speaker, if growth of an economy, and for that matter, its development, is only to be realized in the GDP growth rate, then I think what will it profit an economy if it grew by 5.7% and had to borrow so much to the extent that it became bankrupt and had to go begging arms in arm for its creditors to forgive its debts, to the extent of even creating different shades of haircuts, including Sakura. Mr. Speaker, if this is what we do to grow an economy, then I beg to differ because, Mr. Speaker, what will it profit an economy if it touts itself to have grown by 5.7% and yet unemployment rates for 14.7%, a remnant of which we saw at EWAC recently, which a responsible president in the person of John Dramani Mahama has taken responsibility to take care of all the injured and even the diseased. Mr. Speaker, what will it profit an economy if it says it had grew by 5.7% and yet inflation rate was hovering around 50% at a point in time to an end-of-year rate of 23%, making cost of living so high for its citizens? Mr. Speaker, what will it profit a country if it says it had grown by 5.7% and yet exchange rates were hovering around 28 and 30%? If this is how a party, a political party for that matter, will manage an economy, then I have no distrust to believe that the result of what we saw in 2024 election has come to this far. Mr. Speaker, before I became a parliamentarian, I heard that this house had two sides, your left-hand side and your right-hand side. But ever since I came here, I have seen a median. However, what I have seen are corners, 4 of them, one of which is occupied by the MPP, which was in previous government. So today, our friends in one corner are trying to tell us that they have forgotten the basic economics of the distinction between economic growth and economic development. Today, we are presenting a budget which is not only seeking to grow the economy, but to develop it. Even though we have stated to grow the economy by 4.8%, Mr. Speaker, in this 4.8%, 800,000 jobs are going to be created to solve some of the problems they left behind. In this 4.8 growth rate we are estimating, Mr. Speaker, exchange rate is currently hovering around 10.9%. Inflation is below 8%, and we are targeting an end of year of 5%. Mr. Speaker, if this is how they want us to grow the economy like they did, then let them know that we are not going to manage the economy, because if this is what you did, then I'm not surprised that you went into the examination in December 2024 and your best score was 87 out of 276. You see, we have been reduced to one corner. In this one corner, a minority you are enjoying. We would not want to be like you. We would not want to be like you. And so we are treading cautiously. The Minister for Finance, not only is he a finance expert, he is also an accountant and has taught us how to prudently manage an economy. That is why he's not running his mouth. He doesn't want to run away. He doesn't want to be a fugitive of justice. He wants to be able to come back home and attend funerals of relatives. And that is why he has given us this budget. I know, Mr. Speaker, their only fear is that by the time the programs in this budget have been executed, they will become extinct. And that is why they are doing everything to comment and say this budget cannot transform us. However, the matter speaks for itself. All what the minister has done can clearly tell us that not only is he looking at raking in more revenue, he has also put in measures to stop the leakages, most of which he inherited during their time. You know, to the extent that he is deploying an AI mechanism to make sure all the loopholes occurring at our ports are plugged and blocked so that we rake in more revenue. In fact, if you want to do well as in an economic management, it is not only the case that you focus on raking revenue. If you also are able to block the leakages, make your spendings optimum, and try to be disciplined in your spending. Obviously, if you cannot even rake in more, you will block the leakages and still be better off as an economic manager. This is what we want you to learn. This is what we are doing. And by the time we are done, Mr. Speaker, I know these Egyptians we are seeing today, I know by the time we will not see them anymore. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
It's now the turn of Honorable Nana Ajayi Bafo-Awuah. You are speaking for 15 minutes.
Mr. Speaker, I'm grateful for the opportunity to take part in this debate. Mr. Speaker, I pray for your indulgence to join my brother Nana Kwame Asafo-Adjei to pay tribute to the 6 gallant women, young women, patriotic young women who sought to serve their nation but unfortunately met their untimely death. At this point, Mr. Speaker, whilst you've extended your indulgence to me, Mr. Speaker, I wish to mention their names for them to know that we acknowledge what they have gone through. Mr. Speaker, my condolences go to Prudence Ayisi. My condolences go to the family of Prudence Ayisi. My condolences go to Alice Owusu, the family of Alice Owusu. My condolences go to Abigail, the family of Abigail Boateng, the family of Sarah Mensah, the family of Esther Appiah, and Mercy Owusu. Mr. Speaker, these women were not seeking to only serve the country, but to also join the many Ghanaian women who have succeeded in breaking traditional boundaries and stereotype. Unfortunately, they met their untimely death. Mr. Speaker, it was unfortunate. To the many that sustained different forms and degrees of injuries across the country, consistent with Exodus chapter 15, verse 26, I assure you that the Lord is your healer. Mr. Speaker, these young ladies met their untimely death just so they could get meaningful, well-paying jobs. Unfortunately, they died. Mr. Speaker, it's unfortunate, and that as a House, we need to commit to ensure that there would be abundant job for the Ghanaian, particularly our teeming youth who are graduating from our various institutions of learning. Mr. Speaker, this is why we are concerned about the 2026 budget. Mr. Speaker, unfortunately for us as a nation, yes, we do concede that there's some good macroeconomic indicators. No matter the disconnect between the indicators and the reality, there is that concession. That said, Mr. Speaker, there's one thing that has eluded us as a country, and that thing is the sustainability of the indicators. Mr. Speaker, we cannot say that the indicators we are seeing today is unique. Yes, there may be some improvement. That said, Mr. Speaker, it has become cyclical, that once we subscribe to an IMF program, we begin to experience good indicators. Mr. Speaker, the question we have failed to ask ourselves, indeed, even if we have asked ourselves, the question we have failed to answer is why has the sustainability of the indicators eluded us? Mr. Speaker, it's not far-fetched. The answer is not far-fetched. The answer is in our expenditure choices. Mr. Speaker, when you are running a revenue shortfall, definitely you need to be careful with your expenditure. But when you choose to spend 13 billion cedis in the procurement of aircraft, Mr. Speaker, that certainly is not a prudent expenditure choice. When you choose to spend 13 billion cedis over a period of 4 years to procure aircraft, that is not a prudent expenditure. You know why it's not? I'll tell you why. Mr. Speaker, firstly, we need to convert the 13 billion cedis into dollars. And so the $1 billion that you've been pumping into the economy, you pump it with your left hand and take it with your right hand and export it to a foreign country just to procure jets. Mr. Speaker, whilst you make that choice, what you forget is that you are not just giving the foreign country revenue, you are also giving them, Mr. Speaker, jobs. Whilst your people in your country are not getting jobs, your taxpayers, the people from whom you obtained the 13 billion, they are struggling to get jobs. And this is the decision or the choice you choose to make at this point of austerity, Mr. Speaker, is certainly not a prudent choice. Mr. Speaker, I am not a prophet. But, Mr. Speaker, there is one thing I can prophesy on the floor of Parliament today, that in no time, the NDC government, led by His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, will be running back to the IMF because of the choices it is making. It is a very imprudent economic choice. Mr. Speaker, why would you spend 13 billion cedis to procure aircraft when you have 78,000 nurses unemployed in your country? Why would you? Why would you spend 13 billion cedis to procure aircraft when more than 6,000 teachers are struggling to get employment? Why would you spend 13 billion cedis to procure aircraft when about 60% of the 300,000 Ghanaian graduates on a yearly basis don't get employment? Yet you have chosen. Unfortunately, we have learned our lessons and we are advising you. You know, when you are struggling to get your people employment, these are the choices you've chosen to make. Mr. Speaker, when we say you are not creating employment, your reaction is that you are creating 800,000 jobs. We have reminded you that the 800,000 jobs, they are mainly fleeting by day jobs.